What is up, everybody? I am Get Flanked, and today I have some early access gameplay for you from Operation Phantom Sight. Ubisoft was nice enough to fly me out to San Francisco and allow me to play this operation early, and in today's video we're going to go over Nokk. She is the new attacker that's coming with Operation Phantom Sight. I'm going to show you some gameplay with her. We'll go over her loadout. I'll give you my initial impressions as far as her gadget and how strong she is. The goal of this video is really just to give you kind of an understanding of how she works. That way you can decide if it's somebody that you might enjoy when she's fully released. Now, before we get into her loadout and some of the nitty-gritty details here, let me give you kind of an overall statement as far as Nokk. And I think the best thing I can say about her is that Nokk is going to strike fear into the hearts of roamers on defense. Anytime that you are deep roaming or going off site, period, one of the things that's going to have to go across your mind as a roamer is, does the other team have a Nokk, and where is she? Now, that where is she question is going to be very difficult for the defenders to answer because of the abilities that Nokk has. She can avoid detection in a couple of different ways. Now, getting into the details as far as Nokk, she's a 2 armor, 2 speed attacker. Her unique gadget or ability is called the HEL Presence Reduction. It's counter intel that wipes Nokk's image from observation tools and reduces her noise with exceptions. Now, we'll go into more details as far as that gadget, exactly how it works, the ins and outs of it in just a second. But first, let's go into her loadout. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here because there's pretty much everything in here you're going to recognize and is already in the game, but I did want to go over it real quick. As far as the primary options that Nokk has, she has an SMG available, which is the FMG9. That is the same SMG that Smoke has. And then she also has a shotgun that's available. That's the 612 SD. This is a shotgun that is available to Ying and Legion. So this is pretty unique. First of all, she's an attacker that doesn't have an AR or a DMR available to her, which is pretty weird. And also, she doesn't have an ACOG available to her. I will say that that FMG9 does have that Arctic's sight that's available on Mozzie's P10 Roni. If you're familiar with that sight, that version of the Hollow basically is what it is. That is available on the FMG9 for Smoke as well as Nokk now. But yeah, no ACOG, no AR available to her, which is pretty unique for an attacker. As far as the secondary options, she has the 5.7 USG. That's the secondary that's available to the FBI operators as well. She also has the D50. That's the Deagle. And one thing to keep in mind with the Deagle now is you can put a muzzle brake or suppressor on it now. That's different than the way it used to be. But those are the secondary options that are available to her. Finishing out Nokk's loadout, she has the Claymore or Breaching Charge available as her gadget. I think that's a pretty good fit for her playstyle. Okay, so now that her loadout's out of the way, I wanted to go into a full unedited round of me playing as Nokk. That way you can kind of see how she works, how her gadget works, how it sounds, everything that kind of goes along with it. You will get to see some gameplay on the Rework Cafe in this clip, which is a nice little bonus. And after this clip, we'll go in, we'll break down exactly how her gadget works. I'll show you some of the more nitty-gritty details as far as the intricacies of how her gadget works. And then finally, we'll talk about my initial impressions.
I think so. I thought they said there was. Oh, yeah, it's right here.
Oh. Why are they so close to each other?
I don't know. I don't even know where that one goes.
So it goes into like a little cubby area now.
Alright.
See you around.
They saw us on cameras.
Okay. They didn't see me.
Oh, it's like 10 seconds to get Glass's thing back.
I wonder if they buffed his damage then.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Alright, I'm doing a little drone work because I'm sweaty like that.
Sure.
I'm droning White Stairs. Are we trying to get down to dining? Is that the plan?
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
White Stairs are clear down to like laundry room. Right. Laundry room's clear. Reading's clear.
Is that a camera?
Yeah. If you want to get
I'm
hatch,
pretty sure this whole floor is clear.
Oh, they changed the train in the middle. Now it's red.
Time to make a new door. Clear.
Sorry.
Warden's sitting or lying down in that room, I think.
Activating him. Reloading.
Going live.
Oh,
Hell online.
Seconds left.
who's got the diffuser? Okay, I'm in sight.
10 seconds left.
Oh, he is on the top floor.
5 seconds. 4 last
Nice.
operators standing.
Oh, nutty.
Op 4
job, guys.
neutralized.
Wait, did you
Mission
down
success.
Warden through that
I
alibi?
think I did. Yes. I had to have.
Oh, yeah. Oh. Well,
Okay, so the basic rundown of how Nokk's gadget work is when she activates it, she becomes invisible to cameras and she also is silent. Now, there's a lot of exceptions to this. Now, in order for her to remain completely invisible to cameras, she has to be moving in a normal manner, meaning like walking or crouching. If she sprints, then she starts becoming like staticky on screen. So she's not completely invisible. In order for her to remain silent, she has to be either walking normally or crouch walking. If she sprints again, she makes normal noise. If she drops, she makes noise. So that's the important things to remember. Now, as far as how she interacts with the cameras, you can see there the camera was blue. That means that I was being seen on screen. Once I activated my gadget, the camera turned white. And that means that they cannot see me on screen. When you activate her gadget, there will be yellow bars that kind of come up on the side. If those show up, that means that you're making sound, okay? So as you see right now, I'm walking, there's no yellow on the side. But if I start sprinting with the gadget active, then there will be the yellow kind of thing, like dots that show up on the side. That means that I can be heard. I am making sound. It also means that I will be glitching on camera. So whenever you sprint with the gadget active, you're not like fully visible. Like the people on the camera won't see your body, but they will see like a glitched image going across the screen basically. Now what you're seeing on the screen is that glitching effect that I'm referring to there. And this is the only clip I have. I actually had to get this one from Varsity Gaming. So thanks a lot for letting me use this. But you're seeing on the screen right now, I'm just repeating the same clip over and over again. That's Nokk dropping from that top railing down to the middle floor there. And you're seeing that glitching effect because that's what happens again when she's doing anything other than walking or crouch walking with her gadget active. So if she was planting, that's what you would see on screen. If she was sprinting, that's what you would see on screen. Now, this is the way that Nokk will appear on every camera in the game. The only exceptions are Echo's yokai drone and Mozzie's captured drones. The way that Nokk will appear on those two types of cameras or drones, I guess you could say, is exactly the same way that Vigil appears on attacker drones. That white static kind of display at the bottom of the screen, how that comes up, that's exactly the same way that it's going to look when you get a yokai drone or a Mozzie capture drone close to a Nokk who has her ability active. Now, one big question that a lot of people are going to have is, can Nokk plant the diffuser while invisible? And the answer to that question is yes, kind of. Okay, so when Nokk plants the diffuser, she will appear on cameras with that static effect, okay? So you're not going to necessarily see Nokk planting the diffuser. I don't believe you see the case on the screen either, but you will see that staticky effect. So you'll know that Nokk is there on the camera, but you might not necessarily know that she's planting unless you actually hear the sound of the planting mechanic. Now, as far as any counters for Nokk and her ability, there really isn't necessarily like a hard counter. If you step on a goo mine while Nokk's ability is active as Nokk, you will become staticky on the screen, so it doesn't completely take you out of your ability, making you perfectly visible to cameras, but it'll make it so you're staticky on cameras, so that they'll be able to see that static effect if somebody's spectating the camera. Pulse can still see Nokk just like Pulse can see every other operator in the game. So it's not that Pulse is necessarily a hard counter. It's just that Pulse with his cardiac center sees Nokk whether her gadget is on or not. I forgot to test Nokk's ability with a mute jammer, so I can't say specifically how that interaction works. I would imagine it would probably be similar to Jackal, but again, that's just speculation. I didn't actually test it. Even if Nokk is invisible to a Maestro Evil Eye, an Evil Eye can still shoot Nokk and do damage. You'll see blood splatter if an Evil Eye lands one of the lasers on the Nokk. So that's important to know. Other than that, I can't really think of any unique interactions between Nokk and her gadget and the other operators. Last thing I'll mention as far as her gadget and the mechanics of it, you can see it does work similar to Silent Step as far as having a cooldown similar to Vigil's ability. The cooldown is roughly 10 seconds after you use it, and you do have to wait for it to be fully charged before you can use it again. So now let's get into my impressions of Nokk. Is she strong? Do I think she's somebody that will be picked a lot and useful in the game? Yes. Nokk, I do believe, is going to be pretty strong. The combination of being invisible to cameras with the amount of cameras that are available and how much defenders have learned to rely on that information, that's strong. The ability to be silent is extremely strong. We've seen that Caveira, when silent, it can be really hard to deal with. And keep in mind that Caveira can only use a pistol during that time. So here you have an operator that can go silent. Can't sprint, but can still aim down sights and use a fully auto weapon while being silent. And that's going to be something the defenders have to worry about. I think that it's very clear the developers expect Nokk to be very strong. That's why she doesn't have an ACOG. That's why she doesn't have an AR available to her. They recognize that her gadget has the potential to be so strong that they didn't provide her with that type of weaponry for fear of her being overpowered. With that said, Nokk is a bit of a selfish operator in the sense that she doesn't provide any real team utility as far as like a hard breacher would or a Thatcher or somebody like that. All of her abilities and everything are designed to help her. Now, getting kills as an attacker is something that's going to help the team, and I think that Nokk will be very good at that. So I think Nokk's really going to appeal to that lone wolf style of player, the player who really wants to focus on going in, getting inside the map and getting kills. That player is going to love Nokk. You're going to have to be selective with how you play her and what type of gunfights you decide to get in. With her not having an AR, with her not having an ACOG, she could be at a disadvantage if she runs up against anchors that are holding long angles with ACOGs. So you'll have to be selective. You'll kind of have to learn what engagements you're going to go after with Nokk. But overall, I think she has the potential to be a very strong attacker and really provide another thing that defending roamers have to worry about. Okay, that's about it for the video. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think of Nokk? What do you think of her ability? Do you think it's somebody that's going to be strong? Do you think it's somebody that you're going to play a lot? I'm really interested to hear all that feedback from you. I'm going to be doing a video on the other new operator, that is Warden, and once that video is live, I'll link it in the top right hand corner of the screen. That should be up within the next day, so be on the lookout for that. If you all enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like and subscribe, and I'll have more coming your way here soon.